on. I just don't give her my camera. I'm picking it on. Sorry about that.
Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. One thing about early internet culture is there was always famous cats. From Nyan Cat to Keyboard Cat to Grumpy Cat and even Talking Angela, the original victim of cancel culture. Okay, I'm obviously kidding, but that rumor had me terrified. 10-year-old me, she had never deleted an app off her iPad mini so fast. Anyway, as we can tell, people love cats. And even with so many early internet famous cats, there was one above all who's always had my attention and kind of won my heart in a way. And I'm of course talking about the one and only Pusheen. No matter what corner of the internet you grew up on or how old you are, I can almost guarantee you've seen a meme or gif of this adorable gray tabby cat at least once. I still remember how excited I was the year that I Am Pusheen the Cat was published. Not only that, but I actually found it at my school's Scholastic Book Fair, which if you know anything about the Scholastic Book Fair, that was the place to be. That's one of those experiences that people have with like public school that I can actually relate to. I went to a Montessori school, so a lot of the time our experiences very much differ. Like, y'all didn't call your teachers by their first names too? What do you mean? But that's a whole other rabbit hole for another day. Funny enough, what inspired this video was the other day I went into Claire's, and I was very happy to find out that Pusheen still dominates that store. She was everywhere, just as she should be. Looks like there's hope for Gen Alpha after all. I left that Claire's regretting not getting my lobotomy, but also thinking, hey, I haven't seen any video essays appreciating Pusheen yet, and so it's my time to shine. As always, this video will be very specific to my experience and memories, but also a bit of a history lesson on the origin story of Pusheen, but also how she only continued to actually expand as a global brand. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Who the f is Pusheen? Valid question. The story of Pusheen begins with a website called Everyday Cute, ran by Claire Belton and her partner Andrew Duff. Everyday Cute was a blog where the concept was, it was a place to upload their comics, typically one per day, and their art style was of course undeniably cute. This is exactly how Pusheen was born, a simple comic strip titled Pusheen Things, which surprisingly is very reminiscent to the signature Pusheen meme format she'd soon develop over time. Published on May 28th of 2010, the caption for this comic read, Pusheen is Claire's 13-year-old cat. She is very dignified and regal. She has a lot to teach you about life, love, and where you go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, I'm unsure how long the blog had been running before this point, since the earliest archives are from 2010 on the Wayback Machine. I say unfortunately because I really like to dive into things like where they came from, the origin, that kind of a thing, and I wish I could have done a deeper dive on like Everyday Cute, but what I do know is where the name Pusheen actually comes from. Pusheen is actually Irish, and I don't mean the creators, they're actually from Illinois, but the name itself is Irish. The Irish word for kitten, to be exact, is Pusheen. The only difference with this character's name is it's spelled exactly how the Irish word sounds. Soon after publishing this initial comic, the good reception inspired Claire to start a dedicated Tumblr blog for the character Pusheen, and within a few weeks the page was already able to amass 10,000 followers, which as an outsider when it comes to Tumblr, I think the follower system is very similar to Twitter, where if you have like 10k, it's like you're famous. But I also say this because it was the early internet, and again, everything was like much bigger then than it is now, of course, with social media being so prominent. Now, a huge part of why Pusheen has continued to stay relevant in recent years, at least in my opinion, is because she has become this sort of like empire when it comes to merchandise. And the cool thing is that pretty much all started in 2010 with the Everyday Cute blog. On July 1st of 2010, these adorable balloon charms would be posted to the blog. Other items that could be found in this same like online shop at the time was this adorable balloon charm of a dog named Carmen and the iconic fancy Pusheen on a brown t-shirt. This is obviously nothing compared to the Pusheen merch in stores nowadays, but also nothing compared to her Tumblr blog. Of course, making a video about Pusheen requires us to talk about Tumblr. So many iconic GIFs and images would come from this Tumblr page. This included, but was not limited to, our first kind of different variants of the Pusheen character, like Pusheenosaurus or My Little Pusheen, or even Katniss Pusheen, just to name a few. This is also where the If I Were Tiny series came from, Pusheen eating various foods, costume ideas, and Pusheen's Guide to Being Fancy. Mind you, this is just from scrolling through Pusheen's blog on Tumblr from 2011 to 2012 via the Wayback Machine. The reason I took this deep deep dive besides wanting to just re-immerse myself in the world of Pusheen is also because I never experienced Tumblr myself. I know. Let me hold your horse Plinko while I say this. I've never necessarily been too upset about it though, because I fully believe, and I think a lot of people who did experience Tumblr can relate, that experiencing Tumblr was like both a blessing and a curse. Like, don't worry guys, LPS Popular is actually where my exposure to disordered eating came from. However, hold your horse Plinkos, my exception to not having Tumblr was still going out of my way to browse Pusheen's page like through Safari, and I think that's beautiful. Pusheen was my singular Tumblr experience, and I forever have associated Pusheen with Tumblr anytime it's brought up, instead of maybe like the more darker and unhinged things or experiences others have had with the platform. But it's also like, how could I not? You look back at the archive of Pusheen's blog back in the day, and her posts had tens of thousands of notes. She was a bit of a celebrity on the platform, let's just say. There was even a gif of her in Harry Potter. And no, I'm not talking about Daniel Radcliffe. We love him though, an ally, but I'm actually talking about Harry Potter of the Harry Potter Puppet Pals. I've never personally seen any of the Harry Potter movies or read the books. Honestly, fuck J.K. Rowling. I hope the black mold in her house continues to get worse. But I have a core memory of like getting in trouble for watching Harry Potter Puppet Pals because my older cousin who loved Harry Potter showed it to me, and I thought it was so funny I showed my parents.
Severus Snape.
Dumbledore! Anyway, the thing I love about Pusheen, and a part of the reason I think she captured so many people's attention in like a short amount of time, is Pusheen is a very simple concept. And no, this is not me like shitting on deeply complex characters and storylines, but I feel like because I'm usually such a lore invested person when it comes to like shows or characters and things I enjoy, I can just like appreciate how simple a character like Pusheen is. And I feel like at the time, this like doodle art style was very popular. Off the top of my head, another post I can remember with this kind of similar art style was the classic hipster swag Asian hardcore girl, kawaii girl, and pastel goth. Safe to say, by 5th grade, I was locked into those draw so cute tutorials because I wanted to draw my Beanie Boo eyes more accurately. But I have to say, which girl did you guys aspire to be? Because for me, it was definitely the pastel goth. I thought she was so cool, and this drawing was actually how I learned about pastel goth as a whole. I think a part of me will always mourn the fact that I didn't get into alternative fashion till I was older because of like my clothing sensory issues. I could not even wear jeans like until I was in middle school. But the thing about me is I also don't really have an aesthetic. I will dress like a little boy one day, I will dress like a grandma one day, I'll be completely goth one day. I just kind of wear whatever calls to me and try out different things, and so I could very much still try pastel goth one day. Don't tempt me with a good time. Back to Pusheen though. The following year, after publishing that first Pusheen comic, Claire and Andrew decided to start a spin-off website and or blog dedicated to Pusheen, which unlike Everyday Cute is still around to this day. I'm very curious like what happened to Everyday Cute because I was seeing like some posts about it still being around in 2023 and I could not find a post anywhere like explaining why it got taken down. My best theory is probably just because Pusheen has obviously been very prioritized as a brand, but it's still out there on the Internet Archive. The layout of the website itself used to be very similar to the Tumblr blog when it first launched, but over time it has become more specific to Pusheen as this brand, a global brand, having quizzes and merchandise and info pages for several characters in the Pusheeniverse. If you will, I fully made that name up. And of course, there's a section for the iconic Pusheen comic strip gifs that we all know and love. Now, while many continue to associate Pusheen with Tumblr, aka me if you can tell from that side tangent, Tumblr wasn't exactly Pusheen's claim to fame. Believe it or not, Facebook is where Pusheen actually like exploded in popularity. In 2013, Facebook would introduce stickers. Although emojis had already been a thing as early as 2010, shortly after the website had been adapted into an app for mobile devices in 2008. In regards to the stickers though, a team at Facebook had been compiling a selection of digital stickers for the launch and decided to reach out to Claire in January of 2013 because they were interested in including Pusheen among the selection. According to a Bloomberg article titled "How an Internet Cat Craze Became a Toy Empire," when the stickers made their debut in July of 2013, Pusheen's fan base exploded overnight, and the stickers are said to be used 10 million times a day. In the past 3 years, the number of Pusheen fans on Facebook grew from 1 million to more than 9 million. In 2016, a Valentine's Day themed video of Pusheen clutching a slice of pizza was viewed 2.7 million times. As I said, Pusheen merchandise isn't necessarily a new concept. Andrew and Claire were very proactive when it came to the potential for this to be something big just by launching that simple everyday cute shop in 2010. Plus, if you scroll through the archives of Pusheen's Tumblr, you just see merchandise of the cute kitty all along the sides of the blog as you scroll through it, from earrings to rings, phone charms, t-shirts, and even a plush toy. Which is honestly really impressive, knowing that like merchandising is very expensive, especially if you're doing it independently. However, the exposure that Pusheen got from the Facebook stickers caught the attention of a stuffed animal manufacturer, Gund, which have been around for nearly 130 years, starting in 1898. Not even the 1900s! And besides their decades upon decades of experience, a notable thing about Gund is, like me, they seem to be very in tune with the concept of internet famous cats. I say this because Gund had first signed a contract with Grumpy Cat to produce a line of Grumpy Cat plush toys in 2013. We are very grumpy to be a part of this phenomenon. For more than a century, Gund has been manufacturing unique products and plush toys recognized universally for our quality and innovation. And that's the point I'm getting at, is they took notice of Pusheen next, likely thanks to the exposure that Facebook gave Pusheen as a brand, and they officially began working with Pusheen in late 2014. Gund began selling 2 sizes of Pusheen plushes in October of 2014. Based on the overwhelming positive reaction, we launched the core Gund Pusheen line in January 2015. To make memes work as toys, Gund's product team starts by combing social networks to determine which images of Pusheen are trending, then works with Belton to create a 3-dimensional version. Once a plush prototype is made, the team work together to fine-tune the product until it's ready for production. While some of Gund's products are based directly on animations or cartoons of Pusheen, others are simply just inspired by the cat. And while reading this article, something that really stuck out and was interesting to me is, according to Gund's product manager, the best-selling Pusheen plushies have been related to her love of food, which makes so much sense to me. I mean, Pusheen was created during a time where the most random things were suddenly slapped onto everything. I'm of course talking about the great mustache craze of the early 2010s. And a close second for me is like how much bacon merchandise invaded stores like Justice and Claire's. Like, what was that? What was the reason? Or even like pizza seemed to be everywhere at one point in time and on everything. Not even kidding, I think Pusheen eating a slice of pizza might have been the first gif I ever saw of her. What can I say? It was truly iconic. I feel like there's such a difference with like food trends today. They are exactly that, food trends. Like, I'm not gonna go to the park and see a kid wearing a holographic t-shirt with a Dubai chocolate bar on it. Although I did see a Labubu themed Dubai chocolate bar on my Twitter timeline this week, and I had to sit down. And no, this is not me being a hater. I still stand by what I told Spencer Agnew when I ran into him at the Cheesecake Factory last week.
Which is that I have a blind box addiction. Like, if I walk into a store and I see blind boxes, chances are I'm walking out with at least 2.
So with that being said, I can't really judge the Labubu craze too much. Circling back to 2010's fashion though, I remember I had these gumball leggings from Justice. I think I mentioned this in my Dear Dumb Diary video, but I will gladly sit here and admit that I miss them every day. Please come home! The unicorn leggings kind of remind me of these gumball leggings that I got from Justice in 2014. Not gonna lie, I would kind of slay those if I still had them today. It's the same reason I search every thrift store I enter for Galaxy leggings. I know that they could make such a cool layering piece for an outfit, and it will happen one day. But arguably the coolest piece of Pusheen merchandise has to be her book, I Am Pusheen the Cat, which can best be explained as a perfect introduction to the character. As I said, I did buy this book from the Scholastic Book Fair, but unfortunately I have no clue where it is, even though I just went through my entire attic because rats decided to start living up there and ate our sleeping bags. And we're gonna have some serious beef if they ate my Pusheen book. Obviously, I'm still bringing up the book anyway, even though I don't have it here with me today, because it's the perfect segue to talk about the Pusheeniverse. I Am Pusheen the Cat is roughly 200 pages, and a little under halfway through the book, we get an introduction to Pusheen's little sister, Stormy. Stormy was born on October 24th. Her favorite food is kibbles and milk. She loves to say wah wah, and she wants to be just like Pusheen when she grows up. Stormy and Pusheen also have a little brother named Pip, who, according to the Pusheen website, is an adventurous troublemaker who loves to hang out with his sisters by following them around. Oh, and he also wants to be a wolf when he grows up? What the hell? Sure. But you may be wondering, just like I was when I discovered the siblings, where are the parents? Well, although they don't appear in the website's characters section, both Sunflower and Biscuit, adorable names, I know, are very present in their children's lives, making various appearances with their daughter. In fact, I was able to find there's a specific Gund like mini plushie set that includes all 3 of them, and the packaging everything not only looks like their living room, like the background, but it's also shaped like a little tiny cat carrier. It's so cute. When I talked about the gummy bear song, I did like a deep dive of the website, but I actually had to physically stop myself from doing that with the Pusheen website because I would have bought half the things on that website. Speaking of which, that's where I actually figured out that Pusheen has multiple books now. Besides the book that I grew up with, Pusheen has actually published 2 more books recently, not including like her cookbook or her coloring books. First, or should I say second, because it's technically the second book, came The Many Lives of Pusheen the Cat in 2021. Then in 2023, on my birthday, fun fact, we got Pusheen the Cat's Guide to Everything. And these books don't follow a cohesive storyline or anything, they're just a collection of new comics, just like the concept of the first book, I Am Pusheen the Cat. And the thing is, with my Raina Telgemeier series, I talked a lot about how much I love graphic novels. I'm someone who developed a hatred of reading over time, and so I clinged to graphic novels because I've always really loved art. And the Pusheen books just being a collection of comics is kind of like the equivalent of that to me in a way, which is why I think I love the book so much. Lore is like the core of like any franchise or series or character in 2025, and I fuck with it. I love lore. I think it's really interesting and adds a lot to a character or a series. But sometimes like simple characters, they don't need a lot of lore, and I think that's the case with Pusheen, and that's why I really love the concept of these books. That, or maybe the fact that AI is taking over and streaming sites are deleting shows, so I've just kind of developed this new appreciation for physical collections of the things that I love. Maybe this is a bit of an original experience, but in elementary school and middle school, I loved quizzes. No, I did not take the Am I Gay quiz. I mostly blame BuzzFeed for this because I happen to really love their YouTube content at the time. And if you went to a school where Chromebooks were implemented, then you know we had very few options when it came to like entertaining ourselves, non-educationally. Like most virtual worlds were blocked, and if YouTube somehow wasn't blocked, the chances of the good videos you wanted to watch being blocked was very high. And this is where I developed my love of quizzes. Oh, you mean you can tell me what Muppet I am based on picking a favorite song or movie from a very oddly specific selection that was curated? Sign me up! So when I discovered Pusheen's various quizzes on her website, I knew that that was how we needed to end this video, because I absolutely must know what kind of Pusheen I am, and it's totally important for the research purposes, duh. Now we are on Pusheen's website, and there are quizzes like what kind of plant should you get? What kind of sweet are you? What game should you play next? Guys, I think she's in my house! But what I'm most intrigued about is how big of a Pusheen fan are you, and what kind of Pusheen are you? I think I want to start with what kind of Pusheen are you, because I really must know. Oh, this is from 2019. Take me back! Actually, I looked horrendous in 2019. I only miss the vibes. It's snack time. What will you eat? Oh, these look so good. This is actually hard because I'm not really like a sugar person, and also I feel like these are so oddly specific. Out of all of these, I feel like there's no butter on the toast, but I can do whatever I want to my toast. No one's gonna stop me from buttering it. So I'm gonna select the toast. Oh my god, damn, I didn't even get to blink. How would you describe yourself? Pick 3. Ooh, okay. I feel like I'm strange because weird isn't an option. And like I know people think weird is an insult, but I actually like want to embody the word weird. I love being fucking weird. I am weird. So strange is the next best option. Yeah, maybe fashionable, because I do really care about my outfits and my makeup and stuff like that, and I always get a lot of compliments on that from you guys. Maybe funny? I don't know. Am I your little comedian? Maybe not, but I'm gonna say I'm funny because I think I can be sometimes. You have the day off. What will you do with it? I feel like you guys would probably expect me to say get my hair done because I always have my like interesting hair. I'm thinking about this very seriously because I want this to be accurate to me as a person. I love the beach, but honestly sand really overstimulates me.
I can go to the beach and I will not even like swim or take off my shoes, and I will leave the beach and there will be sand in my ass crack every single time.
Honestly, spend all day at home in my PJs is probably the most likely option, but lately I have been reading more, and it's honestly because I've done so many videos for this channel reading. I actually just thrifted a Skippy John Jones book because I want to do a video about Skippy John Jones. Spend all my time at home in my PJs. I don't know why I was taking so long to contemplate. I take this very seriously, guys. I do really like pink. I used to really hate pink because of gender roles, but I've really grown around to pink. But I've also really always loved blue, and blue was the color first I ever wanted to dye my hair, but then my dad was like, no, it's gonna like, you know, it stains really bad. Or not stains, like it's stuck in your hair. Now that I'm an adult, he's just like, okay, sure. And then we have blue, and now I'm going to deal with most of the actions of my consequences. The consequences of my actions. Moral of the story, I think I'm going to pick blue. How would you typically deal with conflict? When it comes to conflict, I'm very much a person of like, I don't like things being left on a bad note, and if it does, it actually like haunts me. Like I really need need closure in my life, and when I don't get closure, I want to say tackle issues before they get bigger, because I really don't like drama, and so I always want to try to say something if something's bugging me, or if there's something on someone else's mind, I feel like they should do the same. What would you prefer to wear? Okay, first of all, the something sparkle, that I was getting flashbacks to Galaxy again. I'm just gonna say lots of accessories, because that's very like broad. I love accessorizing and layering and stuff like that. Which best describes your sleep habits? I'm not even gonna read the rest. I'm a night owl. I actually today stayed up until 6 a.m. working on this script, and then slept until 12 p.m. So that sums it up for me. What would you prefer to receive as a gift? Nowadays, I always, when I'm put on the spot of like, oh, what do you want? I never know what to say. So I always just say cash. So I feel like that's accurate. What? For more Pusheen fun, enter my email. I'm Mermaid Pusheen! You're so stylish and charismatic. Mermaid Pusheen, although your impeccable sense of fashion is inviolable, your biggest asset is your caring personality. If anyone mistakes you for being shallow, it's only because they haven't taken the time to get to know you. Your compassion for others is as deep as the ocean. That's so me! Oh my god, this is so accurate. I hate when I do these and like they're not accurate, but this one was actually very accurate. I am pleased. This is lulaloopsey approved. Okay, I also want to do how big of a Pusheen fan are you? I am probably going to fail this one because this was like me revisiting Pusheen. So if I'm a fake fan, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to do my best. When is Pusheen's birthday? I remember this. She's born in February. What is Pusheen's best feature in her own opinion? Oh yeah, toes that look like beans. I remember that too. And maybe I am a big Pusheen fan. How many dark gray stripes does Pusheen have? Oh, I jinxed it. I jinxed it. I feel like it has to be an even number. Like 5 sounds like not enough, but 8 sounds like too many, but I think I'm gonna go with 8. Oh yeah, I was right. Okay. Thank God. I'm not a fake fan. What is Pusheen's least favorite food? Ooh, okay, I definitely don't know this one. Quiche is so oddly specific that I want to pick it, but I don't know, maybe I don't really think she would hate quiche. Smelly cheese? Because it says smelly, but like, I really like cheese. Oh, wait, I was correct. Okay. I think I knew my frontal lobe was forming when I stopped hating broccoli. Everyone just hates broccoli, but the thing is, I will willingly eat it as someone who's a picky eater. Like, it's genuinely good. Where is Pusheen's favorite place to sleep? I feel like literally anywhere. Yay, yes. What is the name of Pusheen's little sister? We know this. Stormy. What is Pusheen's favorite kind of pizza? It's pepperoni. What is Pusheen's goal? Take all the naps to steal your girl. I feel like Pusheen wants to make friends all over the world. Yay! What is Pusheen's name based on? Oh yeah, it's kitten in Irish. I knew this. I'm smart. What kind of cat is Pusheen? Domestic short hair? I think, oh, it's a short hair, but I don't know which one. Oh, what is the difference? I'm failing the lesbians right now. I'm so sorry. I have 2 cats of my own, guys. They're both short hairs, and I love them very much. I'm gonna say American short hair. Oh, it was domestic short hair. Fuck! My life is over! Okay, I got 9 out of 10 correct, which means I'm a super fan, so I consider that a win. Anyways, that's all I have to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. This video was a bit more like rambly and short than usual, but I wanted to post it anyway because I honestly just really love Pusheen. I feel like my last few videos have been on the shorter side, and it was not on purpose at all. Sometimes there's just not like as much to talk about certain topics, but it still makes for an interesting video. But my next video should be lengthier. I'll be talking about the appeal of creepy kids cartoons, which is a topic I'm honestly really passionate about. You have no idea. Aiming for that one to be an hour long. That's my goal as of now. I love making longer, lengthier videos. As always, shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much, and let me know in the comments how you guys discovered Pusheen. Was Pusheen in your childhood? Were you a Tumblr kid? And if you have any Pusheen merch, I would love to know what your favorite is. With all that being said, I will see you guys in my next video.